Real quick before we start today on this Halo rumor, we're going to be streaming later on today, later on tonight, 7:30-ish Eastern. I'm going to be going live, and we'll have some fun watching the Game Awards. I'll have a bunch of other guests and people on, and we'll kind of talk through it and have some fun and do some commentary on it. So if you want to see us kind of hanging out with the chat and watching and hoping for some really big announcements, come on by. It should be a lot of fun. Going to stream it right here on this channel. So if you're subscribed with the notification on, you should get something, hopefully, about that stream going live. I think one thing we can all pretty much admit is the times are changing right now, specifically in games. The gaming landscape has been changing quite a bit, and it really started up, I think, when consoles started to really be connected to the internet heavily, almost as like a basic feature at this point. I mean, if you go back to when we made the change from the 64 to the GameCube and the PS1 to the PS2 and the Xbox showed up, online was around for consoles, but it wasn't as obvious and mainstream as it is now, where, I mean, if you don't have your system connected to the internet, it's like, well, what are you doing, right, at this point? So when I start hearing rumors about different IPs from one company becoming available on another company's system, it is strange still to me. So a rumor is kicking around now about Halo in some way appearing on Nintendo system, the Switch. It's actually not as crazy as you would think necessarily, because there is some history here, but still, the one game that Microsoft has been pretty careful with for a while, even to the point now where everyone's really excited about seeing them actually spend time putting it on the PC, which is a place they're putting everything, it's still, I think, synonymous with Xbox. You look at Halo and you think Xbox. I mean, really, back in the day when they showed up to consoles, they had to have something, and they showed up with Halo, and we all really liked it. It was fun, and it was really a time, I remember, at least for me anyway, the first time that I started hooking up systems through Ethernet cables and running a hub and having them run up and down stairs, and it was all because we came together with Xboxes. And then Halo 2 comes out and really pushes the Xbox Live service to the next level. And now, years and years, decades later, we're talking about Halo showing up on another platform. So where is this rumor coming from? Well, we talked about it before. If you remember, earlier this year, we started talking a bit about the idea of Xbox Game Pass or xCloud or something from Microsoft, a service maybe, showing up on the Switch. It was passed around quite a bit. If you remember, Nate was putting that out there, and some of the information has come true so far, right? Ori showed up on the Switch. We've even seen Cuphead now, which was another rumor that kind of started to show up after Nate put his information out. So, I mean, so far, that rumor has at least slightly become true. We're just waiting for the idea of a Game Pass-like service from Microsoft to show up on the Switch in some way. Well, this rumor appears to be coming from Reset Era, which is an interesting forum that didn't really take the rumor of Resident Evil 3 seriously when I put it out there, but they're very quick with this Halo stuff. Hopefully that Resident Evil 3 stuff comes true. Yeah, hopefully that rumor that is proven true. Anyway, this is an article that also got picked up by Nintendo Smash. Picked it up, put an article out, and since then everyone's been talking about this Halo on the Switch idea. Now, it's very, very vague, and that's why I'm a bit surprised that it's been picked up as much as it has by the media. Like, a lot of places are posting about it, but this is essentially what has happened here. They've screen capped it, and I'll link to this article if you want to check it out a bit further. You can see here it says, he's back, and I can't believe I'm alive to witness it. And he says, I'm definitely not back. Just dropped by to say Halo to everyone. That is the leak, apparently. Halo. And nothing is really even said at that point, just saying, oh, I don't think... They go on, this King Zell goes on to say that it probably wouldn't happen at the Game Awards, and I don't see any strategy there to do it at the Game Awards either. And they say, oh, at a direct. Yeah, that if they were going to do it, I don't even think they do it on Microsoft stage, which might sound crazy to some people, as Microsoft might want to push that partnership, especially since they're the only ones that do a live show. You bring Miyamoto up on stage, and yeah, that would grab a lot of attention. Phil Spencer, you got Shigeru Miyamoto up there. Yeah, they'd write some stories about that one, right? You could probably do an entire documentary on that whole process leading up to that event and how it all went down. That would be a pretty cool thing to see. But the interesting thing about this is the idea of Halo showing up on a Nintendo platform is not necessarily new. There were a lot of talks. This was in the mid 2000s, I guess 2004, I think 2007, when we had some serious information about it, of Halo showing up on the DS, the Nintendo DS. Yeah. It's, again, sounds crazy, but here's a video. This was from IGN that shows it kind of running a bit. The problem I remember with this is we never really saw much confirmation about this, the build, anything else there, but there were rumors going around prior to that video coming out that it was in the works. There were people talking back and forth behind the scenes to do it. Microsoft had been thinking about that, I believe, because they weren't interested in getting into the handheld market, and they didn't see the DS as a competitor, which then carries over to the Switch. Does Microsoft see the Switch as an actual competitor to what they're doing? Because, I mean, think about it this way. Even more so now than ever, Microsoft has moved away from the traditional game console into an ecosystem. Game Pass is their main driver right now. That's their big thing. They want you to sign up for Game Pass because they like the idea of subscription services. I mean, at its core, Microsoft is a service-based company. They're not as interested in the hardware to make them money as basically there just to get you into their ecosystem, to then pay for things like Microsoft Office. Let's say you buy a Surface, you have Windows on there, and then all of a sudden there's the Windows Store and you're buying from them there. But that's the part that really got me. See, because Halo was off of PC for a while, right? I mean, they skipped Halo 3, they skipped Halo 4, they skipped Halo 5. Oh, but here comes Halo Reach to PC. And the part that really caught me off guard, and I think some people were surprised a bit as well, but for the most part, everyone was like, oh yeah, makes sense. They put it on Steam. And that is a strange thing to consider, since everyone who has Windows has access to the Windows Store. They would not have to pay a cut to Steam to sell Halo if it was specific and only available on that Windows Store. They really care about their ecosystem, and that's what they're trying to build up. But then they go and take a game that would bring a lot of people. By the way, they reported numbers of 3 million people playing Halo right now, or have played it in the last week or so. That's a lot of people to bring over and buy from you or sign up to Game Pass. But they threw it over on Steam for $10, paying a 30% cut to Valve. Doesn't really make a lot of sense, but it does if Microsoft is really trying to hit everyone they can with what's really their strongest franchise. Halo is Halo. I know it fell off a bit, but it's still Halo, and as you can see, it still has a large effect when it gets released. Which is why, if you consider that Game Pass and xCloud could end up being a thing on the Switch, Halo would probably be the first thing they would consider moving over to get you to sign up for that service, or put it alongside it for sale so that you go, well, I guess I could buy it, but I could also just sign up for Game Pass. Microsoft's strategy, according to them, is to reach 2 billion gamers. And xCloud is part of that, and Game Pass is part of that, and of course their Xbox line. All of this is coming together. So it's not shocking to hear that we asked Sony about this. You know, we've reached out. That was a rumor going around about Game Pass, that they had checked in with Sony to see if they could get Game Pass or even xCloud over there. They've made a handshake agreement with Sony so that they can use their servers, Microsoft servers, to do their own game streaming. Microsoft's trying to be everywhere right now, and they are continuing to build towards the future. So Halo on the Switch, it really does sound crazy on its surface, but we're starting to see some weird stuff happen right now. Xbox Live is now on the PlayStation 4. You have to sign in to Microsoft, or you have to sign into your Microsoft or Xbox account when you're playing the new Minecraft update on the PlayStation 4. We just saw the new commercial that Sony put on their own YouTube channel that shows the play together, survive together, all of that all at once in this slide. Something they had kind of been against for quite a bit. And now MLB The Show, while I do believe there were some, we'll say, driving forces outside of their control with MLB pushing them, they're still they're still developing it for other systems now. It's going to be going to, I think, everything. I think it's going to be on the Xbox, the Switch, the PS4, and the PC. And originally, it was a PlayStation first-party game for a long time, since the late 90s. It was called MLB back then. Yeah, and here it is now showing up when there's really no other competition around it, and it's going to all platforms. I think it's starting to become more about the services. It's definitely becoming more about the revenue. I think these companies realize that the more people they can reach with their games, the more money they'll make. So it's going to be an interesting couple of years going forward into this next generation. And while I do think right now people might be getting a little too crazy with this Halo rumor, I don't think it is impossible for Halo to show up on the Switch. In fact, I think it'd be really neat for that to happen. I mean, Halo 1, 2, 3, and 4, and Reach even were all on the Xbox 360. So yeah, it should move over to the Switch without too much issue, I would think. In fact, I mean, the games themselves should fit on a cartridge without too much issue also. So yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it? To go into the store and buy a game box off of the wall for the Switch, and you have Master Chief on the front. But interesting stuff there. Let me know what you guys think about the idea of I think still Microsoft's biggest first-party game. I mean, it's not on the PlayStation, it's not on Nintendo right now, possibly going to the Switch and being playable there. I'm very curious what you guys think about that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to like the video on the way out if you enjoyed it. Dislike it if not. And I'll see you next time.